How you living? Are you lifing? How are you living? How are you living? Question this morning, are you lifing? Or is lifing happening to you? Which way? Which way is it going? What's going on with you? Well, this morning, that's what this morning's manna is all about. It's all about this whole thing about lifing. Life be lifing. Trust when I tell you it really does. And what are you going to do in response to it? That's what this morning's manna is all about. So I bless God for you on this morning. Happy Thirsty Thursday. And I got a word for you on this morning. Certainly do. And you already know what you ought to be doing. You ought to be sharing it right now because you know it's the text, to talk, the takeaway going to come with it. But let me greet some folk on this morning. Good morning, Pamela. How are you? Good morning, Ella. How are you? Vaughn, how are you on this morning? Vicky, how are you? Good morning, Ramona. How are you doing on this morning? Brother Nesbitt, how you doing on this morning? Gloria, how are you on this morning? Angela, how are you on this morning? Gerald, how you doing on this morning? Minister Sent, how you doing on this morning? Brother Pope, how you doing on the morning? Dawn, how is everybody on this morning? Francine, Elder Mobley, Aura Reed, how are you? Brenda, how are you? Fawn, how are you? LaFawn. Lena, how you doing on this morning? Elder Mobley, how are you doing? Coach Dagny, you know it's a good morning if you up right this early. Good morning, Verena. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Elder Jan. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Gloria. How are you? I'm throwing shade on my executive assistant, Coach Dagny. Not a morning person, but certainly gets the job done whenever asked. Whenever asked. But good morning, good morning, good morning, Gloria. How are you? Joel, how are you? Anna, how are you? Carolyn, how are you? Erica, how are you on this morning? Lifing, lifing, life be lifing. It bees like that. You know, if I could just share that, it says, how you living? How are you living? Well, life be lifing. Life be lifing. And what do you do when it comes at you in so many different ways? Well, I'm going to give you the text to talk, the takeaway, 5 minutes or less. You already know it, and you know what you need to do. Let's jump right into it. The text this morning is so familiar, John 10 and 10. You know it. And I'm going to just share it, and I need you to hear it again for the first time through the lens of lifing. Through the lens of lifing. Life be lifing. The thief comes only to kill, steal, and destroy. I have come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. I've come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. You know what? In the world that we're in, let me give you the context of where we are. You know, things are always driving you, trying to diminish you, trying to destroy you. That is life through the lens of the enemy. But in the text, Jesus flips the script. He says, I've come that you have an amplified, abundant life. But you got to recognize the struggle. Got to recognize the struggle. So here's what the thief will do. The thief comes in to drain, to deceive, and to destroy. Jesus says, I've come that you have, write it down, here you go, fullness, freedom, and fulfillment. Let's jump into it. The first thing that I want you to grab a hold of out of the text is this: the fullness over fakeness. Fullness over fakeness. The world is full of fake stuff, a mirage. And what it has is that the world offers a cheap thrills and quick fixes. Jesus says, let's go deeper, let's be real, and let's be everlasting. But you got to grab a hold of the fact that is fullness over fakeness, because then you can move from freedom over fear. Freedom over fear. The enemy's agenda is to fear driven control. I want you to get that. Fear driven control. Many of the decisions we make is based upon a fear of some sort. I'm not talking about shaking. I'm talking about concern. Am I going to be rejected? Am I going to be accepted? Those are all fearful things that causes us to be driven to do this, that, and the other, but not with Jesus. Jesus says, I'm going to break you from that fear and I'm going to move you into a freedom that you can walk in a courage and a peace to know that freedom over fear, fullness over fakeness. Here's the third thing: fulfillment over frustration. Anybody out here been frustrated over some things? Yeah, I know I have. I know I have. But true satisfaction comes from Jesus, who fills our lives, while meaning and direction and peace, unlike anything in the world, he fills our lives with meaning, direction, and peace like you have never experienced before when you grab a hold of fulfillment over frustration and freedom over your fears and fullness over your fakeness, the fakeness that the world has for you. So, what's your takeaway this morning? Your takeaway is this: Jesus came that you might have life in a world that's coming at you with more lifing that you can manage. He came that you might have life in the midst of lifing. The Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you and give you peace. I hope this bless you. If it bless you, bless somebody else. Share it. Don't keep it to yourself. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more morning manna. God bless you.